Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be demonstrating another example of using the DolyGames Easy Macro Recorder for opening up packs or doing repetitive boring tasks which sometimes games or work force you to do. There is no need to do. If something can be repeated, it can be automated basically, and that applies to games as well as to anything like Word, Excel, anything. So DolyGames Easy Macro Recorder is just a very simple tool. Of course, it doesn't have a brain on its own, so you have to tell him exactly what to do. So in this case, I'm going to show the example of me opening up 3,400 Heaven Horns, which is after the September 2015 patch. Now when you double click on them, it doesn't open the wishing well anymore, but you get 2 sepulchrums, 2 star sands, and 20 will crystal shards from one of them. So those 3 things. I've also written an article on DolyGames Fortune website, how much rewards you would get if you do this before the patch or after the patch. Of course, I wrote that article before the patch to help everyone decide. I decided that I didn't need Maras, so I decided to open them after the patch. Now if you can imagine, if I do this manually, just clicking one by one, that's gonna take a long time, and also it's kind of stupid, like a monkey job. So instead of suffering, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna simply bring on over my little tool here and say record, and I'm going to do double click, and stop. So I basically told him to double click on each one of these Heaven Horns, and then I'm going to tell him to do that at 4 times speed, which is already pretty fast. Normally I use 2 times because the game cannot handle very fast anyways because of lag, but sometimes I just put 4 times and let it just run. The danger of that is that it could freeze. So we're going to do 4 times now, and I'm going to do infinite, and we're going to do playback, and there it goes. So now all the rewards are being done pretty much on autopilot. I don't have to click anything. I can just move away from the PC and go, mind my own business, and it'll be finished whenever it's going to be finished. But you don't have to suffer basically clicking yourself, and it's only a couple of bucks. I've paid myself for a computer person to basically develop it, because I'm not a computer person, and I haven't put a high price because I want more people to use it so that they don't waste their time on stupid things. So it's just $5. So you can go on, I think on DolyGames.com, I think would be the easiest, and grab it from there. But it's not only for games. This is an example from Fortune, of course, but you can apply it to any situation, be it office issue, game issue, anywhere. I use it also in Excel, for example, anywhere where you can repeat, something. And you have to do that like 1,000 times, 10,000 times. I remember once I had to add something to the end of every single line in a very, very, very long document of 100-some pages length, and of course, manually that would take ages. But I just took my little tool, and the good thing about my tool is that it also can understand keyboard buttons. So it's not like some other clickers, or most clickers, they just understand mouse. But mine, this tool, although it's for Windows only, by the way, so it's not for Mac users. Sorry about that. I didn't have enough to invest to make it both for Windows and Mac. But anyways, back to my example. So what I did is I said, okay, if you press on end, that's gonna go to the end of the line, and then I copied a certain text that I needed to add everywhere. So I basically did and Control V to paste, and then down to go to the next line. And then I told him to repeat that very fast. I walked away. 15 minutes later, everything was done, which was beautiful. So now basically also I'm just chatting, and you can see it's clicking all those heaven horns. It's going slow mostly because of the lag in the game. Otherwise, if there was no lag, probably already half would have been done. But because there is lag, and you can see that from the way the icons are flying, they're not flying in like a fluid way. But anyways, the point is that I'm absolutely relaxed. I'm not pressing anything, and yeah, and it's absolutely horrible for game developers to force people to double click. What is it now? There I had 4,400, I think I started with. To double click 4,400 times in a laggy game environment, that's like, synonymous to torture. So it's really horrible of them. And on top of that, they don't in some cases they offer players bulk opening, which is absolutely logical. They should do that. And sometimes they also offer, like, when you click on an item, then you can just say how many of them you want to open, all or some. But yeah, as you can see in this example, and these examples happen all the time in many games, because they're lazy, because they don't want to pay the costs, even for an extra hour of a programmer, fixing this issue, players have to suffer. And there are some cases that players have to do that every day for months and months, and they don't even bother to fix it. Now, most of these games will say that any third-party tool they do not permit, but pretty much all of them don't even look at clickers, because you're not abusing the game. You are basically just removing the horrible fact of yourself clicking 4,000, 10,000, 20,000 times on a button, which is idiotic. So yeah, so nobody has been banned in terms of from doing from this kind of things. Because also they cannot detect it, because you are basically just clicking on the damn button. And but even if they would start banning, they would very quickly go into bankruptcy. So because basically all top people are using auto clickers, because it's just stupid not to do it. So that's the situation, and here this is the example with the heaven horns. Now it's used already 60 from each pack, so so it's going. It's not entirely too fast because of, again, the lag in the game. Otherwise, the tool is clicking ridiculously fast. You can see the mouse moving and the clicks going at basically really fast speed, and the game is behind. If I would pause the tool now, the game would continue counting the heaven horns, because it remembers a certain portion of clicks, like let's say 20-30 in advance of what you have clicked, and if it's too slow, it just continues doing until it's finished. So what I normally do is I switch this on, walk away, do some stuff, something useful in the house, and then it's done after a while. Awesome. I don't have to suffer and sit and double click. So if you wanna grab it, just go to DolyGames.com. I'll also put the link in the description of the video, and just grab it. It's only $5. Like I said, I didn't put a high price because I wanted everybody, or as many people as possible, to have it. And it also is support to DolyGames for everything that we're doing for players. You can see that way as well, whatever makes you happy. So that's that. I'll just let it run for a while, but basically that's all I gotta say for now. And then what I wanna I also put there the will crystal shards, just at the bottom, as well as the sepulchrum that I had, so you can see them growing. I didn't bother to show the star sands because those are useless, meaningless items now, but you can see they have piled up in the bag already, and one icon appeared on the top left there on the 5th page. But star sands are going to be a lot, and I put those items so also just for your curiosity to see how many you end up with. In my article I did the exact calculation, so if you want to see the exact calculation before and after the patch for the Heaven Horns, just go over to DolyGames Award Tune and see the article there about the Heaven Horns before and after the calculation before and after the patch. To find it easier, you can also click on the analysis category. It's under the analysis articles. So almost 400 open by now, just by itself. Another thing that you can try to do is you can try to lower the speed to see if it goes faster. So I'm gonna stop the running now. So I already gave the command to stop, but he's continuing clicking like I told you, because the game remembers that you've clicked a bunch of times, so it's gonna continue doing it, although the tool has stopped, but it's still going. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch over to 2 times the speed and see if that goes faster. So while it's still counting, also to mention that the tool also has save and open possibilities. So various things that you repeat every day, you can save them and then open later. So you don't have to record every time. Although for little things like this, I don't save a file, I just record it again because it was 2 seconds. You can also continue recording, like if you did something and you forgot something, you just do continue and record. Otherwise it's very simple. Although I wrote the instructions, I don't think a lot of people use them because it's just so straightforward and simple and easy to use. So the rewards are still actually going. So we're down 100 from each stack over here. I think it's done. I'm gonna try to double click myself one time. No, it's still stuck. That is, the game is stuck, not the tool. Okay, it's recovering. Yeah, 4 times was too fast for him. He just can't handle that speed. What also can help is if you switch on over to the city view, because here also there is less lag than in the cloud city view. So I'm gonna try to resume at 2 times speed here, and let's change it up a little bit and do record. Let's do 1 2 1 2 only 1 time here, and then 1 and 2, and we're gonna do that twice. Okay, actually I did it probably slow, so 2 times is slow. We're gonna switch to 4 times again. That should be good, because of course if you press things slowly, then it's gonna be slower as well. So now I think is a much better speed, and it's faster in the city view. You can see the motion is more fluid of the will crystals. But I can still feel the lag of it, although the rewards are coming at a more steady pace. So see, already 1 stack of 999 will crystal shards have gathered up. and sepulcrums are also growing. Sepulcrums go up by two pieces per click. So if you look at the sepulchrum number, you can see it's basically 2 sepulchrum per second, 20 per 10 seconds, and so forth. And doing this manually would be something I wouldn't really want to do. I think any intelligent person would not permit themselves to do this kind of stuff manually. No matter if you use my tool or any other tool, use a tool. Don't sit and click on stuff for hours every day. I'm gonna try to re-record with clicking faster. Now I stopped the tool, but like I told you, it remembers the presses if you did it too fast. So I guess I don't have to re-record, because this proves that the clicking was faster, because he's still going even though the tool is stopped. So I'll just play back at 2 times the speed then. 4 times was too much for him. This also has to do, I found, with your computer and your internet connection. If you have a very fast computer with SSD drive rather than a disk drive, so basically your processor is fast. Graphic card, I think, for Wartune matters a lot less. So what matters a lot is the speed of your CPU, so how fast your computer is, and at least that's what I think. I don't know for 100% sure, but that's what I feel from years of playing, is the speed of your computer, the speed at which it's reading your hard disk. That's and especially now, because the cache is not being remembered. It's re-downloading the cache every single day, every single time, after every single battle, which is ridiculous. So that's why you need fast CPU and fast hard drive. And of course your internet connection is what allows the communication to happen. So those two things, if you get those working super well, with sufficient amount of RAM memory, then this kind of stuff can go a lot faster. Also, the location of where you choose to be, like I said, it's a big difference, I think, if you're in Cloud City or if you're in a city view, because city view is basically just a background picture, roughly speaking. Whereas in the Cloud City, the territory is larger and there are more things animated and happening, so it's slower. Even if you hide players, there are still NPCs moving, so it's slower. So city view or even the wilds sometimes is faster, but again it depends after which patch we're talking about, because they keep on changing things, making good things worse, which they don't have to do. But it's probably some kind of a side effect of something new that they introduce, which has a negative consequence to some older codes that they don't bother to check. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you can take care of. Now, the second stack of will crystal shards is growing to 10,000. In total, it should become something like 60,000 will crystal shards, which is a significant amount. Oh, we got a world boss arriving, so I'm probably gonna just resume after world boss. So let's stop the tool. And it's gonna take him a bit to halt. Now instead of waiting for him to finish, sometimes I just crash the game myself. Or if you think it's not so much, you can just wait it out a little bit. But if, for example, I need to run over to the world boss, in this case, I'll just crash the I'll just crash the flash via the task manager processes, and then just reload the game. And that you don't lose anything. Basically, whatever he has processed, he will process, and whatever he hasn't, he hasn't. So you don't lose anything, anyways. Okay, so we're back after world boss. We're gonna do now 2 times the speed. And although that looks slower, it's looking at the speed at which the rewards are popping up in the chat, it is actually maybe faster. So got 6, 4. Yep, he's actually registering 2 double clicks on each item, so that's cool. Yeah, and like I said, this kind of tool, especially mine, because it can also record the keyboard button presses, it's usable for so many things. It's not made for WordTune. It works for WordTune, but it's also for many other things. Other WordTune examples, something I love using it for is Silphatol. So for example, everybody there is, especially on bigger, fatter bosses with billions of life, people are spending like hours manually clicking all the skills, which is totally not necessary. In the cases where the game patch is such that you can survive the ultimate attacks, you can simply just record, let's say, keyboard button presses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your 5 Sylph skills, and space for activating Sylph mode, and boom, you just 6 buttons. Basically you press and you put play, come back in an hour, the boss is dead, and you have, you know, tens of millions of gold, or 30 million if you killed the whole boss by yourself. In the cases where the game patch is such that you cannot survive ultimate attacks, it's still not a problem, because you can use the creativity of your brain in that case. So what you could do is you simply put on, you ask your leader to, you know, to take care of you. You put follow on your leader. Of course, you try to reduce your lag, so you follow properly. In most cases, that's not a problem. And then you still do the same thing, space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what will happen is your character will follow your leader. All your leader has to do is wait until everybody comes to the boss before he starts the attack, and then he starts the attack. Everybody enters the battle, and then because you have space for activation, your character automatically activates and goes into Sylph mode, and just start spamming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to hit all your 5 Sylph skills. And that can also go for 1 hour, 2 hour, sometimes at night. If we're fighting the tall boss at night and we're tired, you know, it can go for an hour or something like that, depending on the party, of course, and of course on the HP of the boss. But to sit and click for an hour like a stupid monkey, that is not very intelligent. So what we do is we just set it like that. The only thing in that case is out of the 4 people, 1 person has to be the leader, and the leader in theory could also automate it, but basically because people lag, the leader has to wait until everybody approaches him before he initiates the battle with the world boss. In the case in other patches where you will be able to survive the ultimate attacks, in those cases that is not a problem at all. Everybody can automate it, because you just start the battle and you just do awakening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll fight unlimited amount of time until the boss is dead. For world boss you can do, although I just use AFK mode, but what you can do is you can switch on the regular AFK mode that the game provides, but you can use the tool to tell the character to walk over from where he appears after death, to walk over to world boss, and you know, click on him to start the battle. And that way you can also walk away for 15 minutes come back, the world boss is dead, and you got millions of gold. Now in this case, you saw somebody invited me for campfire. The clicks didn't go through during the invitation of 8 seconds because of course the invitation window was open, but anyways, in 8 seconds the invitation window went away, and it continued clicking. We're down to 600 something on the stacks, and the third smaller stack is almost finished, and you can see the will crystal shards are messing up. There's already 25,000 of them. Sepulcrums have grown to 4,500, and the star sands are going to be an issue for me because that is a totally useless item, and they are now taking a lot of inventory from the stacks that I already had in the bag on the other pages. There's now an additional building up to be 3,000 additional stacks of them, and there are going to be more because they also grow with every click, like Sepulchrum, 2 pieces per click. Thankfully not 20, otherwise there will be a major bag issue. There are so many things you can do. Creativity is really your limit. The tool itself is what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be very light and fast. I didn't. It's not really possible to make them very smart unless you invest a lot of money, which I didn't do because I don't have too much income from here, and so I made it very simple, light, fast reacting, and so forth. But I gave it sufficient things. Originally I made it just for me to automate things in real life and in games, but also of course for other players. And the couple of things that the couple of features that it does have, it already allows so much. Basically you just have to think that if something is following a cycle, no matter how long that cycle is, if it's repeating a certain cycle, you can automate it. That's how you gotta think it. There's another campfire invitation. But basically this is the only case where I'm sitting at the computer while it's clicking, because I'm giving you guys an explanation video for it. But most of the time I don't do this. I go to my other PC, or I grab an iPad or something, or I do other real life things. There's absolutely no need to sit at the PC for this. Even for lower BR players, like for example, I can think of situations like Spire, where AFK mode is not available. You could totally automate that. It will not be efficient fighting, but it's better than auto attacking. So you can tell it to do different skills, and there's gonna be like 100% more efficient than just letting it on AFK Spire mode. What else? Really a lot of things. In the older farm, where the farm was smaller, I used to to clean up all the weeds and revives and clean up all the crops with it. Now with the bigger farm, your character sometimes has to move the screen, and of course then the exact coordinates get messed up, because the tool doesn't have a brain. It just remembers what you tell it to do, and it repeats exactly the same way. So if you tell it to press in exactly this location on the screen, and if you move, then it's going to continue pressing on that exact same location on the screen. So now one of the stacks finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the tool, and we're gonna bring it over. I'm gonna move this stack over here just for aesthetic reasons more, and I'm gonna do record 1 2 1 2 1 2, and that's gonna speed it up because then it doesn't have that fourth stack. So now it's just gonna go work on 3 stacks, and that's gonna be a lot faster, of course, than working on 4 stacks. You can also do 1 stack at a time, but I wanna do the whole thing and finish with it. You know, that's why I want to do all 4 stacks at the same time. Like if you gotta go to the shop or something, you can just switch it on, go to the shop, come back, it's all done. He's gonna still continue clicking on those same locations because he doesn't have a, you know, there's nothing to stop him. So he's just gonna continue clicking, but there's nothing there. It's gonna be an empty bag. Once those horns finish, there's gonna be an empty bag, and he's just gonna continue clicking on that blank space pointlessly. So there is no danger whatsoever. You can leave, come back after a while, it's finished, no suffering from your side. Like I said, although I prefer that you guys get my tool to also help me recover my costs for paying to program it, and also hopefully make some profit. But what most of all, what I suggest to players who I care about is, no matter what tool you use a tool, because it's just dumb to sit and click 10,000 times on the same damn button. Your brain is capable of a lot more, you're capable of a lot more, your time is worth a lot more, both in money and knowledge and possibilities, than you just sitting and clicking like a complete moron. So use something, challenge your brain, don't do dumb things, use your time efficiently. So we got now 1,500 horns left. We started with 3,400, so more than half has been done. And in between I did a world boss, I did something else, I did tanks. But otherwise, if you grab a time when there are no events and you do this, like say now after world boss, nothing really happens. Unless you do battleground, but I don't do it now. But you could just let it go. Just start it, let it go, come back after 30 minutes, because it was really a lot of horns. So the more you have, of course, the more time it'll take. What I'm, of course, loving here is seeing all the nice will crystal shards. It's built up to 40,000 now. If I remember my calculation in my analysis article before and after the patch of the Heaven Horns, it was supposed to be total 60,000 for my quantity of horns. So that's a considerable amount of will crystal shards. This is gonna help me a lot. And of course, it doesn't hurt that Sepulchrum grew a lot. I think we started, you can scroll back to the beginning of the video. Of course, I can't do it now because I'm recording. But if I'm not wrong, we started at around 2,000 Sepulchrum. And we're up to 6,000 now. So that's already plus 4,000 Sepulchrum and still 40% to go, which is awesome. And we still have the Sylph Enchant event going. So I might actually spend at least half of those Sepulchrum on my third Sylph, Triton. My main one is Electro, Zeus, and my secondary is Gaia, who soon will get evolved into Hera or Hecate, depending on which name you use. And my third one is going to be Water Sylph. And it's got now 5-star purple, and it's the first two are orange 1-star, and after that I started working on the Water Sylph to bring it up to orange as well, because of course you need 3 strong sylphs for having better success in Sylph Arena. And as well, after refinement, you have to use advanced Mara and advanced Sepulchrum to move forward, whereas I have a lot of regular Mara and regular Sepulchrum left, which will all go to non-orange sylphs, starting of course with my water sylph. And both Zeus and Gaia that I have are already maxed out on regular sepulcrums, so all of these sepulcrums are gonna go to my water sylph, who is a Triton now, but he's gonna get of course evolved relatively soon, I think, to Poseidon. But that is low priority for me. The most important next is to get my Gaia to Hera Hecata, because I actually use her in active battles sometimes. There are cases where Zeus doesn't win, but you can win with a Dark Sylph, because the Dark Sylph can heal, which pretty a lot. And in some battles that's significant. So if you have a very long battle, probably a Dark Sylph is something you should invest in. For shorter battles, you want burst damage and their electro shines. That's why I got both of those. But water is also very good, because there are certain situations where you cannot out damage the boss in fast, and you need to survive all the damage the boss is dishing out. For that, water sylph is the best. With its defensive and healing capabilities, you can have a very long battle with a boss and manage to win when you couldn't do that with regular fighting style. So those are the three I'm going for, and after that it's going to be probably wind. And the main reason for wind is for situations where I go with my friends to dungeons or whatever, or even Sylph Atoll boss. Wind's party power-up is extremely powerful, increasing 20% damage of your friends, especially if they're a lot stronger than you, can be very significant, and reduce the time that you waste in grinding out somebody like an Atoll boss. So the horns are done. So 2x speed was actually the better setting in the city rather than in the city view rather than the cloud city. And we're down to 1,000, about 1,000 heaven horns. Will Crystal is going to 40,000 soon. Star Sands also taking over my bag space. Unfortunately, they don't stack up to 9999, which is why you see only one stack of Sepulchrum, although you get exactly the same amount for Sepulchrum and Star Sand. From these horns you get 2 Sepulchrums and 2 Star Sands, but you see how much those buggers multiply in the inventory, because again the game developers, not caring too much about the players, create all these problems for us. Inventory has been a major issue for many years in Wordtune that the developers don't support players with. They added 2 pages which cost 500 bound balance to unlock, whereas we need something in the magnitude of 10 to 20 extra pages. Some of the top players have a ridiculous amount of items that they have to manage in their throwing over to mailbox. You will be shocked how much time they waste in inventory management. For me, in the Wordtune at this stage, the 2 most important thing would be to get at least 10 extra pages of inventory, or of course, or making the items, doing proper management of the items, because they keep on introducing new items which take more slots, whereas they could introduce a more universal item which is usable in various features. or even make it a currency. Like a lot of things that used to be items like insignia became a currency, so they don't take backspace anymore. They just get recorded in your profile. But there are a lot of things that they could do, and I see it as really disrespecting players to force them to click, tens of thousands of times on some button, and already 4 years they're doing this. Some buttons they fix, then they create new events with new buttons with, again, no options for bulk collection, no options for bulk opening. So yeah, very low quality work and very low amount of respect towards the players from game developers very often. And the reason they do that, it's not some kind of evil reason. The main reason they do that is because everything takes time and money. So to fix something, it costs a certain number of hours from a programmer, which is money that they have to invest. And when they invest money, they think like business. How much money we will get back if we invest this money. And in many of these cases where they make life harder for players, to make life easier for players, in a lot of these cases they don't have any profit to make, because they also have very low business sense on how to make profit from things. So they simply don't do it. And that's why a lot of players are stuck with a lot of problems. And unfortunately, I watched so many players quit over the years for reasons that would have been really easy to fix. Alright, we're down to 600 Heaven Horns. And you can see you can get a glimpse of all these rewards that I managed to collect. Now, these Heaven Horns have been collecting for a long time. It's actually a very large amount of Heaven Horns. I haven't opened them in a long time. Part of the reason for that is because I was lazy. Part of the reason is because I never have time, because I try to spend my time in more productive things. I do try to do as many things as possible in the game, but if something takes more time, I value time, so I don't do it. So for example, nowadays multiplayer dungeons, even though the rewards are decent, I don't do them at all. Tower of Kings, very nice rewards, I don't do it at all, because it can take a long time if you don't have a good party. And these Heaven Horns I collected over a long time. Top players have had much more Heaven Horns than me, because they were able to get to very high stages of Skytrail, which were giving a lot more Heaven Horns per day. So even though they opened a lot, they still had a lot more than me. At my highest, I was getting only 20 per day, which is very low compared to top players. But of course high compared to lower BR players. I'm at around 2 million BR. I'm almost reaching 2 million soon. So I'm not too bad, but of course I'm far away from the top players who are 3-4 million, even maybe 5, I don't know. So yeah. So what I want to say is that I gathered them over a long time, so don't think that I just have these horns. And it's one of the reasons why it took a longer time to open them all, is because I had gathered such a large quantity. That reminds me, actually, this kind of stuff also works. You can use this also for gem synthesis. When you have to synthesize all gems, so you can just record on the 2 positions of the synthesize button, start it, and it will synthesize all your gems. Of course, make sure to hide away into your vault the ones you don't want synthesized. other examples. Let me see. There's so many things that are repeatable in this game, in other games, in real life. Anything repeatable can be automated. Oh, like self enchant and self upgrades when you do Sepulchrum and Mara events. Those also don't have bulk opening options. So there, if you do a whole bunch, you have to click one by one. The unlimited versions, you have to click one by one to collect all your rewards. Again, it's one press of a button. You do record, click, stop recording, repeat, and you're just gonna finish relatively fast, because you're gonna get you're gonna require there between 100 and 500 clicks. But again, why do it yourself? In that time, you can do, you can do laundry. you can go over to the shop and come back. You can do a lot of good things. You can go see your family and come back. And we're nearing the end. 400 horns remaining, 3,000 have been done already. Well, crystal shards are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks, so already there is the 60,000 that I remembered from my calculation. It's going to be, of course, a touch more, because I didn't remember the other digits. I remembered 60,000 and then whatever something, I don't remember how much, 60,000 how much. It's going to be a bit more, which is great. Gotta find a solution for those star sands. If I remember correctly, you can't sell them, but even if you could, I wouldn't sell them. I hate selling items for 10 gold, which is ridiculous. So they're probably gonna have to get sent to the mailbox until hopefully they offer some kind of an exchange to get rid of them. Once a friend of mine said that he has enough star sands to refine the sylphs of the entire server. a higher BR semi-casher guy. He had gotten so much from various events. And I wouldn't be surprised if some top people can refine maybe they have enough to refine maybe hundreds of sylphs. Physical attack scroll buff removed. I used the physical attack scrolls. I have a whole bunch of them from spinning the guild altar, which is, by the way, another thing you can automate. If you're not a VIP player, you can just tell it to keep pressing the spin button. Come back after 5 minutes. All your 30 spins are done. Same thing for the Academy blessing. That's also a stupid button you have to keep pressing. One of the first things I automated was the astrals. In the most beginning, when the first 2 years, I think I was not VIP, and of course VIPs, higher level VIPs can use the one-click capture now, but still the free players have the ridiculous issue of pressing astrals like monkeys, which is horrible. So that's one of the first things I did. I just said press on each star in order. So star 1, star 2, star 3, star 4, star 5. Stop and synthesize. One time you do it yourself, because the first time synthesize is gonna give a confirmation window. There's a tick mark. You say don't remind me anymore. Okay. After that, you record 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5th star, synthesize, and then just set it on repeat. Though that kind of thing you should keep an eye on, so that all your gold doesn't disappear. Let's say if you wanted to spend 10 million and not more, you need to keep an eye on it, so when it gets to 10 you stop it. But it's way better than sitting and clicking yourself. And if you play games like this or have other things in real life where you need to automate things, it definitely helps to have two computers, because then you can, while the automation is running on one, because the automation takes control of your keyboard and your mouse, you can't do other things. So then you can work on the second computer, or if you have one computer, then you just do something else productive in your house. You call somebody that you had to call, you fill in some forms that you had to fill in, you do some papers that you had to do, or whatever that you had to do. You basically buy yourself time, and time is priceless. And with that said, is finishing clicking the last of the horns. For some weird reason, the third stack is a bit slower than the first two stacks, but no matter. Now in this case, just for demonstration purposes, I won't stop the tool, and then we can see that when it's done the first two stacks, he's still going to continue pressing on the locations of the two stacks, because he's dumb. It's a dumb tool. It just repeats, it's a repeating thing. So he's just going to continue pressing, but it doesn't hurt me. He's still going to open the third stack, because every third time he's going to open the third stack. And it's actually going to get faster, because once the middle stack the middle stack went away, once that's gone, it doesn't take any more time. So now the first stack is going to disappear. 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. So that's gone. And now the game is also going to get faster, because it only has one stack to open. Now in normal cases, if you're away from the computer, it's no problem. It can continue running like this. It'll just go a little bit slower. If you're near the computer, you could just reset it to just open one stack. So we're gonna stop, come back, and then I'm just gonna tell him open only this stack. Play. There goes, and now he is just opening one stack, and that's gonna go really fast. Alright, now we can see the rewards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 60,008. 68,000 will crystal shards, awesome. A whole bunch of star sands, which I don't care about at all. And I think I started with 2,000 sepulchrum. We are up to 8,000, almost 900. So that's 6,900 additional sepulchrums from 4,400 horns that I started with. And we are done without me wasting basically a single effort of double clicking myself on the mouse. The tool did everything, and I could just talk to you and show you these things and explain you how to do things more efficiently, more productively. And this is definitely not game abuse, because it's just the difference between you opening the damn things and the tool helping you to open them, so that you don't waste your time. So for me it's totally 100% legit, even though those people have no room for discussion, but that's their problem. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go grab the tool if you liked it. If not, just click on like and share with your friends. That's also good enough. It's all for your benefit anyways. Hopefully I'll have some benefit, but mainly I'm here to give you some good advice. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching and have a very nice day.